Scorpio, something extraordinary is unfolding for you after October 22, 2025, a 33-year cycle of wealth, expansion, and divine alignment that only happens once every 150 years. This isn't just a moment of luck, it's the turning of the wheel in your favor, a cosmic recalibration that signals not only financial blessing but also spiritual maturity, karmic release, and a sacred calling into a higher timeline of abundance. If you found this video today, know this is not random. The universe has guided you here because your soul carries the depth, power, and readiness required to step into this rare energy window. Something in your spirit has been stirring, a whisper in the quiet, a sense that something bigger is coming, a knowing that the life you've lived so far isn't the full story. And you are right. Imagine this: you wake up one morning, not to worry or financial stress, but to lightness, clarity, and peace. You feel it in your body, like a burden you didn't even realize you were carrying has finally been lifted. You look at your life, and instead of surviving, you see options, freedom, expansion. You feel safe, empowered, abundant. This is the reality that begins for you as the door to this 33-year wealth cycle swings wide open, not just financially, but spiritually, emotionally, and energetically. After October 22nd, the once in 150 years conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius activates key houses in your chart tied to legacy, income, spiritual destiny, and long-term foundations. Jupiter, the planet of increase and divine favor, lights up the areas of personal worth and soul rebirth. Saturn, the great builder and karmic balancer, strengthens your roots, your public voice, and your long-term structures. This is not just about receiving money. It's about becoming the kind of person who can hold wealth without fear, wealth that heals, supports, and transforms your life and the lives of those around you. And Scorpio, I know you've earned this. I know what you've been through. The betrayals, the breakdowns, the months, maybe even years when you felt like everything was being stripped away. But it wasn't punishment. It was refinement. In Psalm 66 verse 12, it says, "You brought us into fire and water, but you led us out to abundance." What was lost in the fire will be returned sevenfold in grace. This video is not just here to inform you. It's here to activate you. If your heart is beating faster, if your chest feels like it's expanding, if you sense that this message was meant for you, it was. You are not here by accident. The invitation has arrived. The question is, will you accept it? Please take a moment to comment below and write, "I claim my 33-year cycle of divine wealth." Let that be your public declaration, your spiritual anchor, your energetic signature to the universe that you are ready. I also want to take a sacred moment to say thank you for being here, for watching, for supporting this space with your time, your energy, your presence. Every like, every comment, every subscription isn't just engagement, it's fuel for this spiritual mission. Your support allows this channel, Miracle of the Sign, to keep bringing you messages that shift timelines, unlock breakthroughs, and call you home to yourself. So stay with me through this journey. Because what the universe is revealing next will change everything. Scorpio, when we speak of a 33-year doorway of wealth, it may sound like a prophecy, but in truth, it is a sacred alignment and energetic threshold that you are being invited to step across. The rare conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius is not merely a transit in the sky. It is a mirror reflecting your soul's readiness to build something lasting from the ashes of what once held you back. Jupiter, the planet of divine expansion, pours light into the 2nd and 8th houses of your chart, areas connected to personal value, shared resources, and deep transformation. It illuminates more than just your wallet. It touches your relationship with worth, your capacity to receive, your willingness to rebuild. For Scorpio, this is profound. You are not a sign that chases surface-level change. You crave depth, realness, evolution. And now, Jupiter says, you are ready to expand. Not chaotically, not in all directions, but with purpose. Saturn joins this message with quiet power. He's not here to block the flow, he's here to channel it. As he moves through your 4th or 10th house, your foundation or your vocation offers you structure, commitment, and karmic repair. Saturn helps you crystallize what you've learned in your most painful lessons and transform them into pillars for your future. This is where the metaphor takes shape. You are no longer dreaming about wealth like it's something distant or unattainable. You are becoming the vessel, refined, resilient, readito, contain it. Imagine yourself as a crystal chalice. No longer cracked by doubt or scarcity, you have been tempered by fire. The energy of wealth, in its truest form, can now pour into you without leaking through old wounds. This isn't about a lottery win. It's not about quick gains or temporary boosts. It's about a restructuring of your financial identity, your soul's financial karma, and the energetic frequency you hold around money, worth, and abundance. If you feel something shifting, if you sense that your values are evolving, if you've recently cleared out toxic relationships, simplified your life, or begun to prioritize long-term stability, you're already standing at the edge of this cosmic doorway. And if you haven't yet, this is your invitation to do so. You see, money is not the goal. Wholeness is. Wealth simply becomes the reflection of inner alignment, of healed beliefs, of choices made from clarity rather than desperation. There's an undeniable stillness in the air when big change is coming, not loud or chaotic, but steady and clear. That's the feeling of Saturn blessing your roots. That's Jupiter sending the promise of renewal. If your chest feels warm as you listen, if your palms tingle, if your breath deepens, that's energy moving through you in confirmation. You're not imagining it. You're syncing with a new energetic pattern, one that has been dormant for decades but now activates through your conscious agreement. The most empowering truth is that this isn't being handed to you. It's being offered to you because you are ready. And readiness isn't always loud. Sometimes, it's the quiet conviction that you've had enough of survival. That you're no longer willing to shrink. That you're ready to honor your calling with the life structure it truly deserves. So I ask you gently, do you feel it too? Has something inside you already started saying yes, even before your mind fully caught up? If it has, then I invite you to affirm it. Write in the comments below, I am ready. Let your soul take that first step across the threshold. This is your moment, Scorpio. Not because someone told you it is, but because deep inside, you already know it. Scorpio, when the wheel of fortune appears, it doesn't simply suggest change, it announces it. It signals the beginning of a new cycle, one that is no longer shaped by your past fears, losses, or uncertainties, but by the energy you are aligning with in this very moment. The card is not passive, it invites your participation. It reminds you that while fate can turn unexpectedly, your consciousness determines whether that turn feels like chaos or breakthrough. And in this case, the wheel isn't just turning, it's turning in your favor. What used to feel like bad luck or repeated financial blocks is being transmuted. A new pattern is being written, and you are the scribe of your own story. That's why this moment matters. Alongside the wheel, the Ace of Pentacles roots this change in tangible reality. This card is the seed offering from the universe that says, if you plant this now, if you nurture it with clarity, intention, and integrity, it will become something lasting. This is not fast money. This is legacy. A home you own outright. A business that grows beyond you. A lifestyle that's not defined by survival, but by spiritual alignment. When this card appears after the wheel, it speaks of real opportunity grounded in karmic readiness. The universe is ready, but the question is, are you? Then comes the star, shining in perfect harmony with Jupiter's expansive glow. The star appears after hardship. It shows up when a soul has been bruised but not broken, when someone has lost almost everything but still chooses to believe. It is hope, yes, but it's also a promise. It says, you are not forgotten. Your tears have not been wasted. Your patience, your surrender, your trust in the process is now being mirrored by divine support. The star is the calm after the storm. It's what the sky looks like when your heart has finally stopped bracing for impact. And when combined with the ace and the wheel, it doesn't just bring healing, it brings clarity of direction. Astrologically, these cards mirror exactly what's unfolding in your cosmic blueprint. Jupiter expanding your house of value and transformation. Saturn reinforcing your long-term structures with wisdom. These energies work like a bridge, Jupiter opening the path and Saturn paving it brick by brick. In tarot, we see this echoed. The wheel opens the change, the ace grounds it, and the star reassures you that you are divinely supported through it all. None of these are wishful. All of them are earned. And Scorpio, you have earned every bit of this. Perhaps you've had moments in recent years where you asked, when is it finally going to be my time? Perhaps you've watched others rise while you stayed hidden in your own process. Maybe you've wept quietly for the life you've dreamed of but could never seem to touch. Let those tears be sacred. Let them be the water that nourishes the Ace of Pentacles. Let them fall not in despair, but as a baptism into a new season. This cycle is not a lottery. It's not chance. It's the result of deep inner work, soul stretching, and spiritual preparation. That's what makes it sacred. You didn't get here by accident. You arrived through every decision you made to keep going, every moment you chose healing over avoidance, every time you said yes to growth even when it scared you. And now, the cards, the very energies that guide the rhythm of your life, are aligning to say, you're ready. So pause. Place your hand over your heart. Breathe. Feel the truth of this moment settle into your bones. If it speaks to you, don't keep it inside. Speak it into existence. Affirm it out loud or write it in the comments. Let your energy say, I receive this new beginning. Because that, Scorpio, is how you step from possibility into embodiment. And that's where the magic really begins. Scorpio, the sacred shift we've been speaking of isn't just arriving on its own. It's responding to you. To step into this rare 33-year cycle of wealth and alignment, the universe is not asking for perfection, it's asking for participation. This is where transformation deepens, not through dramatic change overnight, but through quiet, deliberate choices you make each day from now on. You don't manifest a new timeline by wishing for it. You step into it by preparing for it as if it's already on its way. The first invitation is to awaken your financial intuition. This is the inner compass that knows when to say yes to a risk and when to pause for clarity. Scorpio, your sign rules the hidden, the unseen, the undercurrents of power. Financial success for you will never be just numbers on a screen, it will always be energetic. Practice tuning into that inner voice under the light of a full moon. Sit with a journal. Ask questions that matter. Where have I blocked abundance before? Where am I afraid to receive? Write without judgment. Let your subconscious speak. Your answers are not in logic. They're in the emotional patterns you're ready to rewire. Next comes restructuring. The kind of wealth this cycle brings isn't fleeting, it's generational. So your preparation must match its depth. Revisit your savings, your debt, your investments, not to obsess over numbers, but to look at them with new eyes. Ask yourself, if I knew I had 33 years of flow ahead, how would I build from this place? Create a financial map for the next 3 years. Stretch it to 7. Envision the legacy of 33. Don't aim for perfect projections. Aim for alignment. For clarity. For readiness. Because when energy meets structure, expansion happens. And then, the work of release. Old money wounds cannot walk with you into this new reality. They're too heavy. Whether it's a scarcity mindset inherited from your parents, betrayal in past business partnerships, or shame over past spending, it's time to lay them down. Not because they didn't matter, but because they don't define you anymore. Forgiveness is not weakness. It is the power that breaks cycles. Visualize the burdens you've been carrying. Give them form. Then let them go. Burn the old story. Clear the path. Because energy that's stuck in resentment can't flow into prosperity. Now, let's anchor this in the physical. Abundance is vibrational, but your body is the temple it flows through. Start your mornings with the 7-7-7 breath. Inhale for 7 seconds, hold for 7, release for 7. Do this for 3 minutes. It realigns your nervous system with peace instead of pressure. Incorporate high-frequency foods, golden fruits like mango, turmeric, roasted corn. These carry solar energy, boosting vitality and confidence. Surround yourself with violet and gold colors of spiritual wealth and divine magnetism. Use them in your clothing, workspace, even the candles you light between October 22nd and 28th. These aren't just symbols. They're frequency carriers. Let your environment speak to your intention. In love, express without fear. Let the people around you see you fully. Wealth isn't just money, it's connection, truth, resonance. Vulnerability is currency. And the more you align with your own emotional truth, the more you attract those who match your frequency. You are no longer hiding. You are no longer performing. You are calling in love that honors your worth. And above all, commit to the identity shift. Each morning, write it. Say it. Claim it. I am a vessel for divine wealth. I am open to 33 years of prosperity. This is not just affirmation. It is recoding your field. It is preparing your energy to hold what you once thought was out of reach. Speak it until you believe it. Then speak it because you know it's already done. You don't need to wait for a sign. This is the sign. The doors are opening. But they respond not to fear or hesitation, they respond to readiness. So take a breath, Scorpio. Ground yourself in your power. And when you're ready, speak your truth below. Declare it in the comments. Say, I am ready to receive. That is your first action. That is the moment everything begins to change. Scorpio, by the time these signs begin to appear around you, something deep within has already shifted. That quiet ripple you feel in your chest when you hear a certain phrase, that dream you keep returning to, water, stars, light, those aren't random. They're soul signals. They're the subtle, sacred language of alignment, whispering to you that the portal is opening and you are no longer standing outside it. You're already inside the transition. When we speak of seeing water in your dreams or the sudden appearance of rainbows and ethereal light in your meditations, we're speaking the language of emotional clearing. Water washes. It purifies. In the symbolic language of energy, water dreams often arrive when your emotional body is preparing to receive something new, something larger than what it previously had space to hold. You might wake up from those dreams feeling lighter, like you've cried even if you didn't, because on some level, your soul is releasing what it no longer needs. Light, too, arrives in dreams or quiet moments when clarity is near. It is your higher mind showing you, you are not in the dark anymore. And what about the reappearance of old people, connections you thought had closed? These are not detours. They're echoes, unfinished frequencies seeking resolution. Scorpio, your sign is the keeper of transformation, the guardian of the death-rebirth cycle. So when people re-enter your life unexpectedly, it may not mean they're meant to stay, it may mean their energetic contract with you needs to be closed cleanly. These are moments for truth, forgiveness, and completion. Because the space that unresolved ties take up is sacred real estate in your field, and this new cycle of prosperity requires room to move. The physical sensation in your chest, the heart flutter when you hear spiritual messages that feel like they were written just for you, that's not coincidence. That's resonance. Energy doesn't lie. Your heart responds when truth enters the room. These aren't just emotional reactions, they're cellular confirmations that your soul recognizes. It's your inner compass lighting up and saying, this is mine. This is my timeline. And when we look through the lens of numerology, we find even more layers of meaning. The number 33 is not just a master number, it's a spiritual initiation. It speaks of unconditional love, of divine service, of aligning with your highest soul path, not for ego, but for elevation. It is often seen in the lives of those whose work will ripple far beyond themselves. The number 8, on the other hand, brings in the power of material manifestation, abundance, flow, strength, legacy. It is the energetic infinity symbol turned vertical, what you give returns. And 22, the architect. It reminds you that your foundation matters as much as your dream. This number appears when it's time to lay spiritual blueprints into real-world form, when you're ready to stop imagining and start building. Everything around you is giving confirmation. But you don't need to force anything. That's one of the most powerful truths of the law of attraction. You don't attract abundance by striving harder, you attract it by becoming a vibrational match for it. Not through exhaustion, but through alignment. Your clarity, your intention, your willingness to believe even in the absence of proof. Those are the frequencies that draw your new timeline closer. You don't chase blessings. You allow them to land because you've made room. If it feels like life has been testing you, stretching you, stripping away what was once comfortable, it has. But it's not cruelty. It's preparation. What felt like delay was divine timing, calibrating your field so that when this 33-year doorway opens, you won't just see it. You'll walk through it. You'll own it. And if you've been wondering whether you're really one of the chosen ones, pause, feel, listen. The signs are everywhere. Not because you're lucky, but because you're aligned. Because you're ready. And if that truth is stirring something inside you now, I invite you to let it move. Let it root. Let it speak. Write in the comments, I see the signs. I am ready. That declaration isn't small, it's sacred. It tells the universe you've seen what you need to see. And now, you're ready to receive. Scorpio, if you've come this far on the journey, you already know that what's being offered to you isn't just financial wealth. It's a remembrance of who you were always meant to be before fear, survival, and limitation took hold. The 33-year cycle you are stepping into is not a reward for suffering, it's a realignment with your original blueprint, your soul's mission. And that mission was never to hoard, to prove, or to dominate. It was to embody fullness, to overflow in such a way that your abundance becomes healing in motion. True wealth, the kind the universe is activating within you, isn't for display. It's for delivery. When your needs are met, your heart opens. When your life is stable, your creativity awakens. And when your energy is no longer stuck in survival mode, your compassion flows outward like a river that finally finds its path. This is the secret most people miss. Wealth doesn't change who you are, it amplifies what's already true. If there is light inside you and there is, it will shine more brightly when you are no longer carrying the weight of lack. So what will you do with this light, this surplus, this new level of freedom? That is the real question of this cycle. Because your wealth is not only yours. It belongs to your family line. To the version of you who once cried at night wondering if things would ever get better. To the future child or stranger or soul who will be touched by your generosity, your art, your presence. This is your sacred opportunity to build what you never had, to give what you were once denied, and to live without apology. For many of you, this might mean taking care of a parent who once sacrificed everything. It might mean finally starting the foundation, the business, the book, or the school you always dreamed of but couldn't afford to pursue. It might mean becoming the kind of partner, healer, mentor, or creator who no longer compromises their calling because of rent, debt, or fear. You see, this isn't just about luxury. It's about liberation. Wealth isn't the destination. It's the vehicle that carries your purpose into the world with greater reach and greater strength. The deeper truth is this: money flows most powerfully through those who know why they're holding it. When you're clear on your why, the how begins to take care of itself. That's why the universe doesn't just pour financial energy into you, it chooses vessels that are prepared, willing, and aligned. And you, Scorpio, are being chosen not because of luck, but because your inner work, your trials, your honesty, and your hunger for meaning have made you ready. Ask yourself with honesty and curiosity, if all your financial struggles were lifted today, what would you do with your time, your energy, your voice? Who would you help? What would you build? Where would you lead? What parts of yourself would you allow to breathe freely for the first time? The answers to those questions are not hypothetical. They are the blueprint of your purpose. And as this cycle begins to unfold, those answers will rise to the surface with more clarity and urgency than ever before. You may feel unworthy of this. That's okay. Healing often begins in discomfort. But you must remember, the fact that this opportunity has come to you means you are worthy. The door does not open for no reason. The calling does not land without intention. You are not being teased with a vision, you are being summoned into it. Not as a dreamer, but as a doer. Not someday, but now. This is your confirmation. You've waited long enough. You've carried the weight, done the work, held the line. And now it is time for wealth not to define you, but to empower you. Not to distract you, but to elevate you. Not to distance you from your soul, but to deliver you more fully into your soul's mission. So let this be the moment you say yes. Say it not just in your mind, but in your energy, in your actions, in your voice. Claim the kind of wealth that heals generations. The kind that builds bridges instead of walls. The kind that flows through you and blesses everyone it touches. Because this isn't just abundance. This is destiny fulfilled. And the time is now. Scorpio, if you've stayed with me until this moment, I want you to take a deep breath, not the kind that fills your lungs, but the kind that fills your soul. The kind that tells every part of your being, I am safe. I am seen. I am finally stepping into the life that was always waiting for me. After October 22, 2025, your path is no longer dictated by survival, by fear, or by delay. You are entering a 33-year era of financial expansion and soul-deep restoration, a cycle that opens only once every 150 years, and this time, it is opening for you. Not because you were lucky. Not because you stumbled into it. But because the universe saw everything you endured and whispered, enough. It's time. You are not here by chance. You are here by calling. And when a soul has walked through enough fire, enough heartbreak, enough empty nights wondering if life will ever feel whole again, what waits on the other side is not just healing. It's inheritance. And now, your soul is ready to receive it. But knowing isn't enough. This is your moment to act. This is your moment to say yes, not just in your thoughts but in your habits, your energy, your vision. Will you show up for this new chapter with the same resilience that carried you through the last one? Will you allow yourself to believe that you are truly worthy, not in theory, but in practice, for a life that overflows with stability, opportunity, and peace? What could change if you woke up each morning anchored in the knowing that abundance flows through you, not just around you? You've learned the steps. You've felt the shift. Now the question is, will you walk forward, fully open to what's waiting on the other side? Or will you hold yourself back because the old version of you wasn't taught how to receive? So I ask you gently but clearly, what would happen if you chose to believe today that this wealth was always part of your story? How would your choices shift? How would your self-talk change? Who would you become? Leave a comment below and write, I claim my 33 years of wealth. Not just as a phrase but as a declaration, an energetic agreement that tells the universe, I am ready. I am willing. I am here. Share this message with someone you love, someone who may be one courageous step away from their own breakthrough. You never know whose path you might help illuminate. And finally, I want to say thank you deeply, truly. Your presence here, your time, your openness, it means more than you know. Every like, every comment, every subscription helps us grow this space of light and truth. On this channel, Miracle of the Sign, we are not just predicting futures, we are activating them. We are building a family of souls who remember what it means to believe again. So before you go, ask yourself this one final question. If this video found you at just the right time, what if that means it's finally your time? I believe it is. And I believe in you. Always.